mate. So we're here with Shanners on Tuesday night after training in the classroom again. Last game of the season, so it's a slightly different vibe around this interview. As it's the last game, how do you find it? Did you find it different to motivate players for the last game, especially after the awkward fortnight gap we've had, but knowing that we're facing Taunton, who've got a lot at stake and therefore going to be very up for this game?
Yeah, no, it is difficult. And it kind of happens this time of year when you're in a position where you're not going to get promoted, you're not getting relegated, you're in a fairly safe position. I mean, the motivation will be, if we win Saturday, we can finish top six. And I think where we were before Christmas, to finish top six would be a great achievement.
Yep.
To not perform and maybe lose Saturday and drop into like 8th or 9th and be in the bottom half would, I think, would be a disappointment. I think we've had a good, from February onwards, we've been pretty consistent and played some good stuff. But it is tough. I mean, there's a few boys moving on and a few leaving, so I think the theme is kind of like the last dance, like the Chicago Bulls kind of theme.
Of course, yeah.
But it's the last time that squad put together, play together, and some boys that have put a lot into that shirt. So I'm hoping those factors can maybe galvanise, motivate the team. Sometimes those end of season games, you've got a nice firm pitch, nice sunny weather. Unfortunately, it's going to be wet, windy and cold, which is annoying. But it is what it is. We're in England. And yeah, look, Taunton will throw everything into it. It's a must-win game for them. If they pick up 5 points, I think they should therefore stay up, or at least have a good chance of staying up. So they're going to throw everything into it. They've had 2 good results. Beat Siniford at home, beat Sale away. For just watching them, they play a good brand of rugby, scoring lots of points, throwing the ball around. They do give teams opportunities. So I think our focus has to be that we're going to get opportunities. We have to make sure we take those. But defensively, we've got to be a lot better than we were against Park. If we could be really switched on defensively, which has been a pretty good area of our game all season. We're the 4th best defence in the league, even though we're sitting in 7th, but overall, but we're the 4th best defence in the league. So I think we need to kind of focus on that. And obviously after a poor home form, we started to turn it around. And so it's nice to finish with
4 wins on the trot. So
maybe 5 or 6 wins on the trot. So that'd be good for everyone, supporters, sponsors, and obviously the players. So I'm hoping that's enough little factors that will motivate us to put in a performance on Saturday.
Great, okay. So we saw in Russ Ticehurst's report for the programme that Ed Taylor's calling it a day at the end of this season.
Yeah.
Clearly, you want to say a strong goodbye to him with this game. Anyone else leaving who you want to sort of reference?
So Ed, obviously, he's taken over his business, so he's now becoming a major shareholder in that, so he's got to really focus on that. And it's in the West Midlands, so the last couple of years he's basically been organising his life and time and travel with making sure he's back at Blackheath for 6 o'clock every Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And obviously at the moment he can't commit to that. Will it be the last time we see Ed Taylor in a Blackheath shirt? I don't think so. He could be like the new James Cap.
Or Dave Allen.
Who, when he's around, when he's available, he can help out. Look, he's been great. Look, he came in a really tough year, after COVID. When he signed, we'd put together a really good squad. I think probably the best squad on paper that I'd had in my time. Obviously, COVID went a lot longer than we expected. By the time we got back into rugby, 22 players had gone. Fair play to Ed, he stuck around and wanted to be the club captain. Had a real tough first season, as we know, with relegation. But the great thing about Ed is not just on the field, it's off the field. He's really good motivator, keeping the players together, keeping them upbeat, positive. And I think that's what we're going to miss massively about him. Obviously had a great successful year last year, which was great, because I think he was wobbling on if he did another year or not because of his work, but I think he said he wanted to leave the club in a better place than when he came in. And then he was keen to do this season, and he kind of a couple of weeks ago made the final decision that he's going to kind of hang up his boots, but kind of said if you've got injuries and need a favour, I'm here for you.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. So look, he's been great for off the field, on the field. He's a really nice guy. We get on really well. And he will be massively missed, like I said, on and off the field. Cookie, Mark Cook, he's going to move. He's going to retire. Basically, he's got some serious knee issues and problems. And to be fair play, he didn't think he'd play this year. I think a lot of credit to him and his tenacity and his want. Also, Trevor with his work in the physio bed, and for the, he's going to, I think, play 15 games this year. And considering he didn't think he'd play again, I think that's a huge achievement for him. And I think also that we've played better second half of the season. I think he's a large part of it. I think he's just a calm influence. He understands the game. Very confident when you set out a game plan on how he wants to play, he will want to implement that and do it to the best of his ability. Great. And I think he's been great for us. And it's a real shame because I still think he's, would have another couple of seasons in him, but his knees, are not great, and he goes through a lot of pain and just kind of cracks on with it. He again has said if there is injuries and you need a helping hand, so you never know, we might see him in a Blackheath shirt again, but the likelihood is he's going to be that'll be it. And then the only other player that's told me they're moving on will be Stevie Clark-Leonard, who I've known for 7 years, I think, with Cambridge University. So I've had him since he was 2015, and he's obviously been at the club last few years. Been injured in the way last few games, so he's not been about. But yes, it's a shame he's just got a new job in Sevenoaks teaching, but they teach on Saturdays, so he's going to struggle to make any games. So they're the three that I know of. All the others were made offers contracts-wise. Most of them are very keen to stay. There's a few that are not sure, but they're the only three that I definitely know that are moving on. The others have been implemented, they're going to stay, and there might be a couple of others who's they're not sure about what they're doing next year. But I think the majority of the squad are quite keen to stay and progress. And we're talking to obviously a lot of players to bring them into Blackheath so we can strengthen the squad, because I'd like us, if we finish 6th this year, I'd like us to push top 4 ideally next year. But that's going to come down to recruitment, and so we're doing a lot of that, a lot of phone calls and stuff at the moment, and trying to find players to come to Blackheath.
Okay, and just 3 very, very quick questions just to end things off. Your your highlight of the season, maybe Chinner?
I think it would have to be Chinner at home. Was it a shock? Yeah, it was a shock. So
that actually comes to my second question, which was the biggest surprise of the season.
Was it the biggest surprise? Look, I don't know. Stupidly, I've always probably pretty confident in what we can do as a team, what we can do as a squad, and sometimes it doesn't happen. So was I surprised and shocked with Chinner? No, I knew we had it in us, but did I believe we'd do that on that day? Maybe not, but we did. That's probably the highlight, maybe of the season, the game wise. Shock wise, I suppose, maybe it's Chinner again. I'm trying to think. I can't think of any other games that really stood up. Maybe Sedgley Park away was a big game for us just after Christmas, New Year. They were third at the time and flying high, and we kind of did a smash and grab up there, and which was really pleasing. But I think Chinner will be probably the highlight and the shock for the season.
And I know that the Rugby World Cup was back in September, October, obviously. It's fresh in everyone's minds. I know you watched a lot of games. What was the best game you saw in that Rugby World Cup?
So I was lucky enough to go to the final.
Okay.
So I went to the final. Was that the best game? Probably not, but obviously I'd never been to Paris to watch a game, especially in a World Cup final. And I was like a kid at Christmas, to be fair. I think it was amazing. So I loved the whole experience. The best game probably involves. It's pretty tough. The quarterfinals are outstanding. I mean, Ireland, South Africa was a great warm up group game. New Zealand, France was another good game. I think, even though I was gutted for Ireland, I think New Zealand Ireland may be the best game, because New Zealand played really well and kind of did a job on Ireland, which I'm not saying no one expected, but it was a semi-shock, so to speak. I think. I think all the quarterfinals were pretty outstanding that weekend of rugby. So I think may have to pick out those 4. I think that weekend of rugby, the 4 quarterfinals, I think were. All of them were absolutely class. I think it actually was a really good World Cup, except for South Africa winning a game. Sure. I've got a lot of close South African friends, and they're rather annoying.
Been insufferable ever since.
It would have been nice to New Zealand just nick it. Or ideally, what I would have wanted was Ireland South Africa final, but unfortunately, New Zealand decided otherwise, but no, it's a good World Cup. Really, I thought it was a great World Cup, and I was, as I said, lucky enough to be there at the final.
That's good.
drove across, caught the ferry across, and then night in Paris, and then drove home early Sunday morning. So with 2 South Africans and a Kiwi. So it was a lot of fun.
Nice one. Thanks, Shanners, and thanks for all your time over the season. We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.